guys, so I am officially live and I have a whole okay, listen. TikTok, I'm sorry. I'm trying. I forgot to start y'all live. Hi you guys. Welcome back to Snack Cackle Talk. I am your host Lacey, and today is Relationship Saturday. I am officially live, okay? Don't ask me. I have no idea how I royally screwed up my intro. But I'm waiting for my intro, and apparently I did not have one. I have to look at my system when I got time. But I am officially live, y'all. Today is Relationship Chat Saturday. I am Lacey, and today's topic is tainted love versus toxic love. Okay, tainted love versus toxic love. Okay, I wanted to go over this because I was listening to the radio and the old original version of Tainted Love came on, and I was like, topic. And I really wanted to listen to the Pussycat Dolls version of Tainted Love, and bam, I had my topic for today. That's how that went. Okay. So we're going to get right on into it. I'm not going to hold up your time or anything like that. Let's get right into this tainted love versus toxic love. Okay. So for those of you that are not familiar with the terminology of tainted love, okay, so let me open up my stuff over here, my little notes that I have, okay, for you guys. Okay, so what we have right here for tainted love. Now, y'all already know tainted love. What are some movie examples? So you got The Notebook. The Notebook has tainted love in it. Um, let's see. Love and Basketball has tainted love in it. Brown Sugar has tainted love in it. So we're going to go over those. Now, what has toxic love? Acrimony. The movie Acrimony has toxic love in it. Okay. Um, what's another one? Why Did I Get Married? Has toxic love. 1 and 2 has toxic love. Okay. So let's get into why I'm having this topic, okay? Because as y'all already know, this is Relationship Saturday, and I speak on relationship topics, okay? So the definition that they say right here for tainted love is that tainted love is love that started out pure, okay, or genuine, but became damaged or corrupted by betrayal, manipulation, resentment, and unhealthy behavior. Okay, so that is what they are terming tainted love to be. Okay, now let's see, a good description for tainted love would be the feelings may still be real, like you are in love with this person, even though you're no longer together. That's tainted love. Y'all are just better off apart. Y'all can actually still kind of be friends, kind of thing. Okay. But when y'all are together, all y'all do is argue. All y'all do is disagree. All y'all do is finger point, name, blame, all this kind of things. You know how it is. Okay. So, an example of tainted love. Okay. My notes say here that a couple that is in a loving relationship for years. Okay, like me and my husband, we're in a loving relationship. Okay, we've been together for years, but then love can go astray. Okay, now I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just using my husband as an example. Okay, love can go astray. Okay, some couples, they are better off. They just say, okay, I love you, but I can't stay with you. I can't be with you. I just can't. Or tainted love would be, unfortunately, Chrissy and her husband. They would be tainted. Okay, they had a pure love that went astray. Okay. It's not toxic, at least not yet. Let's pray it don't get that far. Okay. Now let's jump into this toxic. Okay. This toxic love. A lot of people are falling into toxic relationships. Okay. I am noticing that big time, that a lot of people are jumping into toxic relationships. Now, some people, for some idiotic, crazy, insane, out of their mind reason, they thrive off of being in toxic relationships, whether you are a male or a female. For a male, it can kind of turn them on to have a toxic girlfriend. And for a female, same thing. For some reason, they're turned on that their boyfriend is jealous and shows it and acts out. And or they feel like they're not loved if he don't slap them or talk shit or cuss them out or something like that. Crazy. That's toxic. Okay. So the definition of toxic is a relationship that is consistently harmful, unhealthy, or emotionally damaging to one of the other partner, one of the individuals. Okay, that's what the toxic love definition is stating. Okay, so I was sitting up here and I was like, hmm, my original topic was gonna be tainted love, but what's the difference between tainted and toxic? There's got to be a difference because let me see, let me try to gather up some information so I can talk about it. Now, if you guys got something to say, hey, I don't know, I don't see any of my original stuff on my feeds on my end, so we're gonna pray on it. So if y'all if y'all just so happen to put a comment and I don't respond, I apologize to you. Okay, I truly do. That's all I can say is that I apologize. I am sorry, because I don't think I logged into my stuff correctly, and I think I was in such a rush that I just go live and then I noticed half of my stuff was missing. So I'm not gonna see any of your comments, especially if you're on my Facebook. Definitely, I'm not gonna see you today on either of the feeds, and on YouTube. I'm not going to see you today because I didn't log in here correctly. Um, but I will see you after I log off. Okay. But TikTok, y'all good. Y'all on y'all own stream. Okay. Y'all on y'all own. So y'all good. So if y'all come in or whatever, just I'll see y'all's comments. Okay. Because y'all streaming individually. Okay. So let's go into the descriptions of toxic love. The relationship itself is harmful. So we already know that. Y'all see these people on the street, they arguing, they fighting, they in a relationship, but they fighting over some of the dumbest ish. But next thing you know, they get in the car and they drive off in love harmony. And do it again the next day or whatever. It creates stress, anxiety, and an emotional damage atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like that messes with you mentally. Like it's gotta wear you down. It's got to. I don't see how they do it. I definitely cannot do it whatsoever. Okay. The unhealthy patterns are consistent. They are. And for some reason, you may have, even if you got only just one person in that relationship that is delivering toxic behavior, they don't see or understand that they are the problem, that they are the one delivering that toxic behavior. But because you are not conforming to their toxic behavior, you're the problem. That's what they see. They see that you're the problem because you're not participating in their toxicity, if that makes sense. Okay. Um, it my information right here is telling me is control. It is control based. Toxic relationships is all based off of who wants to be in control. And when you got two people that are in a relationship, a toxic relationship, fighting over who wants to be in control, I guess that's why it's so absurd, so big, so loud, so rowdy, because you got two strong dominant people trying to dominate each other, trying to control each other, trying to be the lead in their relationship. That's what you have. And so it creates a toxic environment. Emotional manipulation. We see a lot of that. I see a lot of that emotional manipulation. It, I've seen female friends, I've seen male friends, and I've even seen exes go through emotional manipulation from their partners. Okay, so we already know that they throw out this, what's the, what's the word? If you love me type ish. I'm trying not to cuss. But they throw out that if you love me, you would do this. If you love me, you would do that. If you love me, you wouldn't be doing this, this, and that, and that, kind of statements. And then if you even show any inkling that you want to leave, then it's that I made you. You won't make it without me. You won't be nothing without me kind of mess. That is toxic. That is toxic. I'm challenging people. Like, if you are in a relationship, whether you are married or dating or effing, whatever it is, okay, whatever, however you define it, do you consider that relationship to be toxic or tainted? I'm curious. Okay. Which one do you deem it to be? I've never been in neither. Okay. If the relationship ended, it ended mutually. But all my relationships, I was a teenager because I've been with my husband since then. So, yeah, it was just, we broke up, we broke up. There was no arguing, there was none of that. So, but I see it in other people. I see it in other people's relationships, movies, grown-ups, kids, friends. I just see it around me. So I was just purely curious, you know, about trying to define and differentiate the two. Okay. Let's see. Constant chaos. These damn toxic relationships, that's all they create is chaos. And black people, I don't pretty much see, white people do it too. But no offense to the white people, to the white community, but white news ain't good news. They love the hell out of black news. They love the hell out of black people on posting their shame and their events and all this shit that they deem to make black people look bad or whatever it may be. And some of these people, they helping. So it creates chaos, constant chaos, especially out in public. What happened to back in the day when you had arguments, or if you felt like a conversation was going to lead to an argument, that you just didn't have that argument, especially not in public? What happened to that? Like, what happened to that? Like, shouldn't something like, okay, hold up, because I'm not going to argue with you out in public, or we're not going to do this here. We're not going to do this, and walk away. Walk away. What happened to that? Okay, so the differences that I have right here: tainted love, love that became damaged over time. Okay, it often started off healthy. It ain't no often. Tainted love, it starts out healthy. You start out meeting each other, you find something that you like about each other, then you decide to test the waters and go on a date. Or for those that are on the fast track, you test the waters in the bed. You like what you got. Let's go on a date. Let's swap numbers. Whatever it may be, it starts out good. And then Either somebody catches feelings that did not want to catch feelings, and so they change, or they just led astray in general. It could be a number of reasons why something that starts out good goes bad. Okay, it can be a number of reasons. It doesn't always have to lead to infidelity. Okay, it could just be they're just not ready to go that direction in the relationship. So the easiest route is to exit left. You know, it just depends. Okay, uh, it may be repairable. Okay, that goes back to if you break up and but you're in love with this person, you're still in love with this person, but you still have that, what's that, boomerang, that boomerang effect, where you keep going back, you keep going back, whether it be for the sex or whether it just be because you just genuinely enjoy their conversations or their company, or you're still in love with that person, whatever it may be. You just got that boomerang effect where you can't stay away from that person. You keep going back. It ain't nothing toxic about it. You just keep going back. Okay. Or this is also still with tainted love. It's corrupted by events or behaviors. Okay. That goes back to, I mean, it could be as simple as somebody acting funny in front of their friends because they don't want their friends to know that they done fell in love, or that they serious, or that they actually in a relationship, or something like that. And that can go both ways between a man and a female. I've seen it happen both ways. When they get in front of people, they like to act out front and all this kind of stuff in front of their friends. So, and sooner or later, the other party is gonna get tired of all that. Okay, so for a toxic relationship, the relationship is just fundamentally unhealthy from the beginning. Even though y'all met and y'all saw some type of attraction, it just, once y'all had sex or whatever, that power of what is the word I'm looking for? Where they feel like they have part ownership of you. That's not what I want to say, but that's what's coming out. That sense of control that immediately comes out, that bit of jealousy that comes out for no reason, you know, that's toxic. That's a very toxic. Is often unhealthy from the beginning. I don't know why people ignore the signs. But like I said, I guess when they see that their partner is jealous, they think it's cute, but it's always cute until it's not. Often requires leaving to protect yourself. Man, a lot of relationships, it do end up like that. Probably 90% of the time, the toxic relationships end up like that. Okay, where one party has to seek refuge somewhere, okay, to try to hide out or whatever, whether it's a male or a female, okay, because you got more men that are in toxic relationship with females, but they're too scared to come out and say that a female is raging out on them. You know, it's like, you're a whole dude, you letting a whole girl beat you up or whatever. It's like, what do I do? Kick her ass like kung fu or some shit? Like, you know, what y'all want me to do? Then I'll be in the wrong for beating her up, you know? So you do got decent guys that get in bad relationships with toxic girls. Harmful patterns from that are consistent. Yeah. And it pretty much they don't care where they're at, who sees them, or anything like that when they act out. Almost, it's like, is that like a mental connection? I wonder, people that are in toxic relationship that deliver toxic behavior, is that like something that is attached to a mental issue? I'm wondering. I'm not a professional, okay? This is a question that I genuinely have. I wonder. Okay. Um, let's see. So, oh, my movies. So these are my These are my movies that I had to. Some of them y'all might not know, but I watch a wide variety of movies. Okay, so like I stated, in a Tainted Love movie was The Notebook. Okay, I love The Notebook. There may be a lot of people that ain't never seen The Notebook. Okay, and you got these two. It's a white couple, and they're young. One rich, one not so much as poor, but working class. Okay, but two different sides of the railroad track. Whatever. They fall in love with each other. Of course, one family is not going to accept the other side. You know how it go. She's pretty much set up, not so much as a prearranged marriage, but she's set up to marry somebody else, even though she's in love with this other guy, and they just going back and forward. But all in all, the whole moral of the story is that they are married. They do grow old together, and she develops, I guess, dementia, Alzheimer's, or something like that. And so he's going through the notebook of their love story. Okay, but the whole point is that they love was tainted. They had a tainted love. Okay. Um, let's see. Uh, I saw some of the Great Gatsby, but I didn't watch all of it. Okay. Fatal Attraction. I don't know if that should be a part of Tainted. I think that it kind of sits on the borderline of Tainted, but as well as toxic. Okay. Because that movie is all about obsession, being obsessed with the other person and all that kind of stuff, and you're stalking that person. If anybody ever watched that movie, Fatal Attraction, okay. Twilight. Twilight, that was a tainted movie. I mean, a movie that had tainted love in there, because she's in love with the vampire, but she's leading on the wolf. So, that was kind of like a tainted love. I wouldn't call it toxic or nothing like that. Now, I did not watch 50 Shades of Grey, at least not all of it. But the little bit that I did see, I consider that to be a tainted love. I ain't gonna say it's toxic, but definitely tainted. Okay. Um, BDSM kind of stuff going on in the movie and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's on the Caucasian side of movies. I'm trying to relate to my audience. Okay. Now, on the African American side, which is more relatable to a lot of people, like I said, Love and Basketball. Y'all know how that went. Now, that is not a toxic relationship. That was tainted. Where you had Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan. They was in love with each other, grew up as kids basically, and grew apart. They both started showing behaviors in a relationship that led to them breaking up. But they were still in love with each other that brought them back together. It also kept them being friends. They still had a connection. Even if they didn't end up back together, they still had a connection to each other. Okay, so that would be tainted. The Best Man, love that movie. The Best Man 1 and 2 was tainted. Okay, tainted love with Harper. What was Mia? Harper and Mia. They were tainted. They had a tainted little thing going on. Okay, Brown Sugar. Brown Sugar had a tainted love. Once again, you got Sanaa Lathan in that movie with, who is that? From Waiting to Exhale. Oh my goodness. Tay Diggs. Goodness gracious. So Sanaa Lathan and Tay Diggs and Brown Sugar. Childhood best friends. Secretly love each other. Then they grow apart because I guess he has a jealous girlfriend, and then they end up back together. There you go. I mean, they end up getting together in general. There you go. Tainted. Boomerang. Boomerang was tainted. Who's that? Eddie Murphy? What okay, so what about enough? What is enough? That's a movie. 50 Shades of Grey. The perfect guy. The perfect guy was and I haven't gotten to it, but the perfect guy was toxic. Okay. The perfect guy movie was a toxic movie because he was obsessed with Sanaa and became dangerous. He became very dangerous. Okay. Power. Oh, even though power sits on the lines of tainted and toxic, that it was toxic. Toxic overruled the show Power. For those of you that are not familiar with the show Power, I love Power. I hate that it ended. I wish they would try to find some kind of way to bring somebody else's story out in Power that's going to be as powerful as the original show. But anyway, uh the love that's in Power is, even though I'm going to say like Ghost and Tasha, they would be considered tainted, but um everybody else, like his relationship with Angela, it would be considered tainted, but at the same time it became toxic without it actually showing toxic behavior. And I say that because that's kind of real thin. It's kind of a toxic behavior because danger always loomed around them. It might not have necessarily been within their relationship between the two of them, but the atmosphere around their relationship, around the people that's in the relationship, made the whole situation toxic, made it dangerous. And case in point, look what happened to Angela. For those of you that haven't seen it, I'm trying. I'll try not to give away no details, but poor Angela. But at the same time, she stepped on a playing field that she thought she was ready to play on, but she wasn't ready. She was not ready whatsoever. Um. Okay, so toxic movie. Like I said, I had named Acrimony. Y'all already know Acrimony was a toxic movie. That man drove that girl crazy. He didn't intend to. I will say, on his end, he didn't intend to, but he also did not prevent it. Plain and simple. Because he cheated on her when they were younger, and then she forgave him, took him back, carried him, and then I guess she just got tired of the excuses that when it actually did happen, when success actually did happen for him, she didn't believe it. And at that point, it was like the last drop that made the cup run over for her. And then when he made it, he married the very girl that he cheated on her with when they were younger. And she was basically living in all the fortune that she felt belonged to her. Like, I guess she assumed that because he became successful, he would take her back and or either run back to her and show and prove that he did in fact become successful. In my opinion, I kind of feel like he should have a little bit if he really loved her, and he knows for a fact that she lost everything. She lost everything behind carrying him on her back. So I kind of feel like once she didn't believe that he actually got a deal. So once he actually had the deal in his hand to show as proof, then I kind of feel like he should have kind of went back to her to show and prove if he really did love her. My opinion. It would have changed the whole story scene. But of course, they had to do it for dramatics. Poetic Justice. Okay, Poetic Justice. April on TikTok. Poetic Justice. I'm gonna say toxic. I'm gonna say Poetic Justice was a toxic movie. Simply because it was just all. Uh, some of it was gang related. I'll say that. Whatever it may have been. I'm not. Can I say it's gang? No, okay, I'm not gonna say it's gang related. It might not have been gang related, but it was some definitely black on black crime. I'll say that. So because um Poetic's boyfriend had beef with another guy, another black guy, why and got spotted at the movies, he took that heat out on Poetic's boyfriend while they was at the movies. So that relationship became a toxic relationship. Okay. Once again, that's also that toxic behavior happened outside the realms of their relationship, not inside. Okay, but it just made it dangerous for Poetic because what if she had gotten unalived? You know what I'm saying? Because of his dealings or his mishap with someone else. The movie Enough. Okay, so I get what you're saying. The one with J Lo, that was toxic. Oh my gosh. That movie, excuse me, that movie right along with the movie Sleeping with the Enemy. Toxic. You got an abusive husband that is controlling you with their money and their power and their positions and all this kind of stuff and their connections and making it hard for you as a person. I'm not going to just say a woman because this happens to men too, but definitely females. Both of those movies, it made it hard for the woman to hide. It made it hard for her to get away, to get to safety because of all the connections and the money that they had and the resources that they had to find the women. You know, very toxic. Okay. Um, let's see. It says Tyler Perry's movie with that he was an inventor and he left him, but his invention sold. Okay, that's the Acrimony. Yeah, that's the movie Acrimony. That was a toxic movie. But okay, Acrimony. It was a toxic movie, yes, but it also is a tainted movie. The Acrimony started out as a tainted love, okay, because Taraji and the guy that acted in the movie with her, they were at least presumed to be in love with each other. Okay, that's the assumption. But they separated, they got the divorce, and then it turned into toxic. Okay, on Taraji's side, it turned toxic. Taraji ended up being the toxic person because I guess her mental state had made it to an acrimony level, to where that she was willing to harm because she didn't get what she wanted. Uh, all the Tyler Perry movies are like, yep. Every last one of Tyler Perry movies are guaranteed to be tainted, but half of them are toxic. Guaranteed. That is true. Let's see what else. What other movie do I have on this list? Um, I already said Why Did I Get Married? 1 and 2. Look at Angela. Marcus. They were tainted and toxic. Jill Scott's character, tainted, and then turned toxic because she hit him on the head with that bottle. Waiting to Exhale, tainted. I'm gonna say that was a tainted movie. It kind of can give off vibes of toxic because what was I can't think of her name, but she was the light skinned, real pretty young one that was in love with Leon. Her and Leon's relationship was a toxic relationship because even though it wasn't a physical abusive or anything like that type of relationship, it was toxic because he was just toying around with her feelings and her affection. He actually had no intentions of settling with her, being with her, dating her, or anything like that. She was just somebody to just sleep with and lay up with when the mood hit. And then he get up and he leave. Okay, so they relationship became toxic because the feelings was one sided. There was no feelings on the other side, and he was out there making babies and everything. So her relationship was toxic. Angela Bassett's relationship was toxic. Um, but the other Whitney Houston's relationship was toxic because look at the roller coaster she was on. Even though it wasn't physical, that it was still toxic. Um, but the other young lady that Loretta Devine's character, hers was tainted. It wasn't toxic. It was tainted. She ended up with a husband that turned gay. You know, that led to their separation. A baby boy. Oh, Jody ass was very toxic. He's not tainted. Toxic. Him and Yvette, whatever her name. Listen, toxic. A very toxic relationship. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That movie was a toxic movie, but it started out as tainted because you had one woman that was purely in love with her husband, helped him build his business and his fortune, and then he dropped her like a bad habit. Okay, for a lighter, prettier, younger woman. Okay, once he got to where he wanted to be. So yeah, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. It started out tainted, but it ended up toxic. Uh, let's see. Did I have any other movies? Oh no, I did not. Okay, look at there. I went through that. There you go. Uh y'all, my 2026 my 2026 lives have been a hot deal pickle mess, and I just want to come on here and apologize to y'all. So I'm apologize to y'all now because I'm quite sure it sounds like I'm gonna be doing it the rest of the year. And it's not intentional. And this all happening right after I was sitting up there bragging about how I got better and how I used to struggle and I was a hot mess and I done got better than that now and I know what I'm doing now. And I don't know shit. I'm still struggling. I'm probably back at square one. I tell y'all the truth. I ain't lying. I swear. Cause look at today. Like I'm only on 2 of my lives today. And or shall I say 3, because TikTok is on their own. But and I royally screwed it up. And it's not even gonna record it and save it for me to where I can make my shorts or anything of the sort. Like I screwed it up and I have to figure it out. But I appreciate y'all if you made it this far in my life. Hey, and you haven't done so already, go ahead and follow my page, follow my channel. I am on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as Snack Cackle Talk. Okay. Uh, what else do I need to say? I already told y'all to like. If I didn't, like, subscribe, comment, share. Um, and just let me know what y'all think of my messy, unput together, unprofessional, uncoordinated show. Because I'm all those things. I'm all those things. I guess that kind of makes me a unique show because it's done become pretty much my brand to just be a hot damn mess. No matter how hard I try, you know. And no, I don't do it on purpose. I promise you. All this is happening naturally. Uh, but I didn't even get a chance to welcome y'all to my page or nothing. So if you are a first time viewer on my page, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you for all the comments. And I'll see y'all next time. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.